All right, let's go to something else. Notre Dame looking for help at wide receiver. Are they looking at anybody possibly that is committed to a Big Ten school? So give us some good scoop here.
Yeah, I did this in an article a couple days of Blue and Gold, and I titled it Notre Dame, whatever, looking at Big Ten commitment, because it is true. Raiden Devine's Bright is committed to Washington, which is a Big Ten school, which,
Yeah,
you got about 45 teams in the Big Ten, but, this Midwest, kind of, conference traditionally. But different discussion for a different day.
Yep.
So Notre Dame is very much, Darren, looking to kind of move in silence on receiver recruiting. And because when you're looking at these committed guys, you don't really want your business too much out there. You don't want to alert the school that he's committed to and make it a big ordeal. So it got out, but you want to control it if you're Notre Dame. But then, like, this kid, Raiden Vines Bright's a 4-star receiver, again, currently committed to Washington. There's an IMG Academy. That's where he goes in Bradenton, Florida. He's from Arizona, and now is at IMG Academy in Central Florida. There's a media day, some reporter from Rivals checks in with him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I'm here from Notre Dame." So, like, it gets out there sometimes. So that's how we're able to talk about this. So Raiden Vines Bright, the name might sound familiar. He was a Notre Dame target until he committed to the Huskies. So he visited Notre Dame March 25th of this year, committed to Washington 3 weeks later. And then, Notre Dame's been in contact with him for a few weeks now. And this is very much a situation, Darren, that if he visits Notre Dame this fall, which personally I think there's a decent shot of that happening, then it is game on in terms of it being serious that Notre Dame could end up with him in the class. But if not, there's nothing to see here. So it's really just as simple as that. And that's typically how it goes at this point of the cycle, Darren. Like when you get into fall, like there's been like Carter Nelson last year. It's like he was a Nebraska tight end commit. It's like, all right, if he visits, it's on. If not, nothing to see. He visited, still ended up sticking with Nebraska. So we'll see with Raiden Vines Bright. It might be difficult for the Irish to recruit the receiver position when your quarterback spot is in limbo. What does Deuce Knight do? Who would that guy be? So we will see. But Notre Dame working on Raiden Vines Bright, 6 foot, 190 pounds, number 273 overall player, number 43 wide receiver in the country, according to the On3 industry ranking. And he's not the only one, Darren. Notre Dame is still after some other wide receivers as well.
Mike Singer, his Notre Dame recruiting update on WSBT Radio and the Blue and Gold YouTube channel. I see the Irish might be interested in another McGlinchey. Is this guy as mean and tough as the original McGlinchey at Notre Dame?
6'6", 220-pound rising junior quarterback. That is Tom McGlinchey. His older brother, I think, 12 years older than him. William Penn Charter. So I wrote an article about McGlinchey on Wednesday. You can find it at blueandgold.com. And the article starts with, hey, if this last name piques your interest, there's a good reason for it. Because, yes, he is the younger brother of former Irish star and now a member of Darren's Denver Broncos, Mike McGlinchey. Yeah, one of the when you think Notre Dame O-line, you think Mike McGlinchey. So really interesting, Darren. Tom McGlinchey, 2026 quarterback. He's got an offer from Duke. That's the only one so far. He camped at Notre Dame June 10th, but I think it was 9 days before that, Notre Dame landed their 2026 quarterback in Noah Grubbs from the Sunshine State. So Notre Dame had McGlinchey work out a little bit at quarterback, but again, they already had someone. So it's like, all right, this could be like a potential PWO option down the line at quarterback, but also with that size, they worked him out at tight end, a position he had not played before, and he thought that things went pretty well for him at the tight end position during that Notre Dame prospect camp. So, could Notre Dame be in the hunt for another McGlinchey? We'll have to see. He's got a big junior season ahead of him, so we'll see where his recruitment goes. But I do expect Notre Dame to stay in touch, and it'll be a fun one to track moving forward.
Finally, Mike, I just want to get your perspective. One of the rising stars in Notre Dame fall camp through 1 week is Bubacar Traore.
Not surprised.
Not only does he have a great name, but man, physically, he looks the part. He has added on a lot of bulk, muscle, and he is pushing hard for a ton of playing time this year. Mike, just take us back to the recruiting process. Was there much buzz about Bubacar Traore?
Nope, not really. He had like 4 offers. And I think probably would have had more, but Bubacar was just not a big like social media guy, like just not big like, hey, I want to talk to all these coaches. That just was not him. He actually committed to Boston College in August of 2020, and he was a class of 2023 recruit. So he committed to Boston College really early in his process. This was a deal where when he announced an offer from Notre Dame, I'm having to contact Notre Dame sources. Like, is this real? I mean, like it was just he had like one other offer. I was like, this kind of just coming out of nowhere, Boston College commit. And they just kind of worked on him, and it was quiet because, it's Bubacar Traore. He doesn't really talk a whole lot with media. But then he commits to Notre Dame. He just visited once. It was April. This would have been of 2022, I believe. And yeah, had a great time on campus. They flip him from the Eagles. Had a pretty strong senior year. Ended up ranked with a pretty strong ranking. Again, Darren, he only had a few scholarship offers, but ended up a 4-star across the board, number 208 overall player, number 24 defensive lineman. Pretty strong again. Here's his offer list: Notre Dame, BC, UConn, Michigan, Pitt. That was it. And yeah, Notre Dame with the strong win. Mike Elston was recruiting him. Then Elston leaves for Michigan. Michigan was able to make any traction with Elston over there. Notre Dame, did a good job with Al Washington and got him committed. So, yeah, this has been one and like never had a lot of fanfare, Darren, Bubacar Traore, with him as a recruit. But in talking to Notre Dame sources over the years, one that they have been very excited about for a while and thought that he would be an impact guy. And it's happening maybe sooner than later. Just based on, just going into his second year, already looking to make a big impact.
Well, there are many reasons to be a part of the blueandgold.com family right now because the football season is right around the corner. There's a lot of recruiting stuff happening right now. We just touched on a couple of those things. Mike, remind Irish fans who have not jumped aboard yet how to do so.
Yeah, you go to blueandgold.com and it's hard to not find a place that'll tell you to sign up. I just want to say, like, what we just did right there with Bubacar Traore, like some fans need to get tell me about Bubacar. This is the first time I'm really hearing about this young man. Following recruiting is not for the faint of heart. It's just not. I get it. You get attached to some of these prospects. You're really excited, and then they don't sign with Notre Dame, and you're frustrated. But as frustrating as it can be, when you're watching other college football games and you're like, oh, I remember that kid. Notre Dame was recruiting him. I remember his backstory. Or you have a situation where you know about Bubacar Traore and you know his backstory and you know about some of his recruiting. I think it just makes you a more well-rounded, smarter college football fan and Notre Dame fan specifically when you follow, Fighting Irish football recruiting. And we would love for you to do that at blueandgold.com. You can sign up just $1 for your first 2 months. This deal might be going away soon. So make sure you use that promo code UND1 to go to blueandgold.com. You do a monthly subscription, punch in the promo code UND1. It's just $1 for your first 2 months.